What's going on, everyone? We're here with Noah and Riley Vaughn. They went viral, and not for like the reason that everyone else is thinking about. This is like the good kind of viral. Y'all were working out. Noah is a minor league baseball player. Riley plays pro softball. Used to be an Aggie softball player, and y'all or getting what y'all can do in the backyard working out, and all of a sudden your sports center's retweeting you. What happened?
So it's funny because this game that we've kind of invented was a game that my little brother and I started playing long before A&M was even a thought, before playing a softball A&M was a blip on the radar. And so, life kind of gets in the way, and we got really busy, and, we're working, we're ready for Noah's season, and then this quarantine hits, and we're like, well, we're really bored, so, what can we do that's exciting? And so we're like, hey, let's go play that game we used to play when we were younger. So we just grabbed, I think we ordered like a dozen or so of these little light flight, like foam squishy balls on Amazon, and just got to work. And the reason we started doing this was, one, we're bored, and two, it was the closest thing we could get to live at bats.
Yeah.
And it was also fun to face, overhand pitching, and for him to face underhand pitching. And then one day we were like, well, let's just take a video of this, because, this ball moves quite a bit. It's pretty gross. Mm-hmm. And we just started videoing all of a sudden, and then Noah dropped an absolute nuke off of me. And he was like, well, I got to post this. I said, that's fine. I'm just going to post a video of me dicing you up on a curveball, throwing overhand.
She did.
But what nobody really gets to see is that my little brother, and Brooks, he just turned 15. He is the best pitcher of all of us by far.
He's nasty.
Yeah. Is he throwing like Scroogies and stuff out there, or what is he throwing?
Everything. He's got a drop ball like Trinity. He's got a rise ball like Kelly Barnhill. He's nasty.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, okay, you post the video on both y'all's social media accounts, or was it just on yours, Noah?
So I posted it first, the home run, and then it just took off. There was a couple Twitter accounts that reposted it, and then everyone was reposting it on Instagram, and SportsCenter was the big one. When they DM'd me asking for like the video, I was a little shocked. I was like, no way, this is about to happen. And then they posted it, and after that, it just kind of took off. And then today, obviously, she wanted to get some payback, so I was like, all right, look, yeah, like I'll pitch to you overhand. That's fine. We can do it. We just like to compete, and that's a part of the game too. Is without our sports right now, we miss competing, and so we get to go out there and just kind of face each other and compete as much as possible. And so we went at it again today, and she got me. I left a slider out over the plate a little bit. And it didn't slide as much as I needed it to, and she absolutely hammered it. So it was funny for her to get her payback, and so she got to post that today, and hopefully that one will take off too. But it's just been awesome.
Well, is there a name for the game? I don't know if we established that.
The game.
It's called the game.
Game? Okay.
It's been that since my little brother and I started playing it, I think 9 years ago. It's the game.
Yeah.
And is it just, and I guess I can't remember if we established, is it home run derby? Is there certain areas you have to hit it to? Is it just making contact? Like, what's the scoring system?
So since that ball is actually very hard to hit, usually when we play, we'll say 3 innings or 5 innings, and if you make contact, it's a single. If you make hard contact, it's a double. If you hit it over the street, it's a home run. And so, because the ball is hard to make contact with, especially when the pitching is really good. And so we give you contact as a single. So we don't really play home run derby as much as we play like actual games with innings and outs and all of that. We try to make it as game-like as possible to convince ourselves that we're training when really we're messing around. But so, yeah, that's kind of how we've laid out the game. But I don't know. We should do a home run derby. That'd be kind of fun.
We had a 9-10 inning game when his teammate Austin Briggs was here, and he pitches for the A's. He's a lefty pitcher, flamethrower guy, and we ended up playing. It was a tie going in. It was me and my little brother, and it was Noah and Austin, and my little brother and I ended up winning on a walk-off, bases loaded walk.
Yeah, that wasn't my problem.
It was very high. That's like the most tension I felt playing that game ever.
Was it a hard sell to get when SportsCenter came DMing to get her to sign off on putting it out there? Because you kind of grooved that one. I'm just saying.
I don't even think I asked her for permission. I was like, They DM'd me. I said, "Yep, you can have it. Let's go." And then I went out and told her, and she was pumped, obviously, because I mean, SportsCenter has like 16 million followers, so that's great as far as going viral goes.
Okay, so before we get into the going viral and what that all looked like, I've when I've been talking to people about what y'all are doing stuff. You got to lay out the playing surface a little bit, because like, were you launching this into the streets? What's the rules and the playing surface of this game?
There's been so many questions about that. And those are the funniest comments we've gotten. It's like, why are they pitching out of a garage towards another garage? It's hilarious. So the layout, I'll give the layout, and then you can talk about everything else. Basically, the layout is the main garage is on this side. That's the backstop that you kind of see. And then there's another small garage. That's where we're pitching out of. That it's kind of like a garage gym. It's kind of the gym out there. And so we pitch out of that towards the main garage, and that's why there's so much garage action going on. There is an actual house here. It's not just garages everywhere. Yeah, and then the rest you can tell about the ball.
So we live on a little bit of land out here in Aledo. It's a neighborhood where all the homes are kind of spread out. And so there's a lot in front of us, and it's basically like somebody's extended backyard. And so when we're hitting into our front yard, basically towards the street. It's rare that you'll see a ball go over the street, just because the balls are so light, the wind kind of knocks them down pretty easily.
And we really don't hit the ball that often. I mean, that ball moves. Yeah, since it's a light, foamy ball, that ball moves a bunch. So when we do hit the ball solid, it's like a total win. That's why
That's why the bat
such
happens.
a big. Yeah, I mean, it's rare to hit the ball. So.
Yeah. So
though, very concerned about our garage door and very concerned about our windows is what we've noticed from the comments.
Yeah, so it's squishy. I've kind of felt windows, but for everyone who's watching, listening, I mean, they're still a little bit hard. You could do some damage with them, right?
Yeah.
It stings a little bit when you get hit with them, and we put a few dents in like gutters and stuff, and those drain pipes. But other than that, no damage.
We'll probably have to move the strike zone on the garage door to like a different part of the garage door, because the garage door is getting a little beat up. I mean, even though the ball's squishy, it gets hit over and over. But as far as the ball hurting, it definitely doesn't feel good when it hits you. But I mean, that's not why I was wearing a helmet and a shin guard and full gear, just so everyone knows. That was another question we got. Everyone today, they were like, man, he was wearing full gear and she took him deep, not wearing any gear. The reason I did that was because I like to make it game-like. Okay, I was getting in the game zone. Okay, I had my helmet on, my shin guard, batting gloves. I was just getting decked out, trying to make it game-like. That's the only reason why.
Yeah. So was that the biggest bomb you've dropped off of them in the time you've done this, or is that just the only one that you caught on film?
So the thing is yes, that was probably one of the bigger ones. But I don't know what it was about this day. Like, I came out just smoking her a little bit. And so
I was having an off day, obviously.
I actually hit like two or maybe one before. And I was like, hold on, let's get a camera rolling, because if I hit another one of those, I'm going to want that. And so we're competing. We're having another at bat. I think it was like a 1-2 or a 2-2 count. And she threw me a pitch, and I got a hold of it, and I got that one on camera. So I was pumped about that. But that was definitely one of the bigger ones that I had hit. And then she hit hers today, which I think actually went about 100 feet further than mine. So
yeah. Okay, but what were you more proud of, the bomb or that curveball that you threw? Because that was something.
So the curveball video we actually took quite a few days ago. I think
that was the first one. That was the first video we took.
That was the very first video we took, and I will say it was dark.
No. There's no excuse. I'm not an excuse maker. There's no excuse. That pitch was nasty. She carved me up.
I've always liked to throw overhand, and especially just helping him train and stuff. I've kind of learned to throw a few different pitches. But yeah, that was definitely one of my more proud moments. So everyone sees me hit home runs, usually on TV, or like they've seen me do it before watching softball. So to be able to put me pitching out there and succeeding and not getting a bomb hit off of me, that was pretty nice.
And that's why I had such a big bat flip when I did hit the bomb, because it was my payback. And then she got me back again today. So
yeah. So and when was the last time you actually softball pitched? Because you were a third baseman, shortstop while you were here at A&M. Was that something in your repertoire before, or I mean, we got to name the game here.
So I did pitch. I went to a private school before I transferred out to Aledo, and I pitched my sophomore year. I'm pretty sure I was the only pitcher I'm pretty sure I pitched every single game. But that was more out of necessity. I was okay. I wasn't bad. I could hold my own a little bit, but obviously you saw don't have the best curveball action going on.
Gotcha.
But it was funny. The funniest thing was like everyone was like on there ripping her. They're like, that was such a bad pitch and all this. I'm like, dude, she is not a pitcher. Like,
yeah, I know.
And honestly, if you go back and look, the pitch was kind of in the upper right quadrant of the strike zone. So
Wasn't that bad.
they got to cut her some slack. But first of all, yeah, she's not even a pitcher. So that was funny. Everyone was ripping her like she was Monica Abbott or something.
So what is the reaction kind of been? I know you like after the Sports Center went on, have you looked at the comments? Have you stayed away from the comments? Have you had other people retweet? Like, what has the aftermath been for y'all?
It really hasn't been all that bad. So how we met was through a video of mine, my very first hitting video ever, our sophomore year of college that kind of went viral. I swung with a really big leg kick at the time, and I was modeling my swing after Josh Donaldson. And so there was a hitting coach that mirrored our swings together. He mirrored mine and Josh Donaldson together, and they were pretty identical. I mean, that's who I was trying to copy. And that video went viral, probably not to this extent, but it was still everywhere, and that's how we met.
I remember it was a talking point when we were interviewing you back, I think you said before your junior year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, and I try to stay away from the comments because most of them are pretty nasty or mean. Yeah. There's a few like hidden gems, like a few famous baseball players will comment like, oh, that's really cool. The people who know, the people who are kind of in the know about
there's a lot of people
things,
there's a lot of people who just
nice.
Don't get the game as much, and so like they comment these things thinking like it looks so easy and all this, but like if you haven't played the game, you just don't really know.
Yeah.
And so we don't really entertain those comments because most of the time that's what they want is to get a reaction, and we know that, and so we just kind of stay away from those. And the people who say nice things, obviously we try to reply to as many of those people as we can, but yeah, there's been a fair share of mixed comments out there. It's been interesting to read. Some of them have been absolutely hilarious. Yeah. I can't necessarily say them probably on here, but there's been some funny comments out there.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned some other baseball players, stuff like that. Did you get any retweets that you're like, holy crap, or anything like that? Who are some of those?
Yeah, I think on the Sports Center one, there's a solid amount of not even baseball players, but just like famous athletes. I think DeAndre Jordan was one of them. That was pretty cool. He put like laughing emojis or something. And then Nick Swisher, big Nick Swisher fan. He actually commented on her curveball video. He was like, that was nasty. But those are the two that stuck out to me. I'm sure there were some more, but yeah. So there's always Robbie Cano. He reposted us on his story. So that was really cool.
Yeah. And so you mentioned, I've gone through both of y'all's social media, and y'all have all kinds of different videos of y'all doing training and competing and working out. Kind of what are some of these games you've put together? How have you been able to kind of stay in shape? I mean, I know a lot of people, I actually just got done doing a story about some of the A&M minor league baseball players and what they're doing. And a lot of them say that they're just doing kind of what their wife's workout is, but your wife's workout is your workout too. How unique is that, and what have y'all been able to do?
That's been awesome. I mean, the fact that, we can go into every day and hit together and do defense and throw together and kind of train the same way because our sports call for the same kind of training. That's been really cool because that's one of the things that attracted me to her initially and has kept us going all these years. I mean, most people go on like regular dates and stuff, and we'd always, while she was at A&M, our dates where we'd go up to the cages at night and hit. And so that's always been something for us. And that kind of definitely during this time has kept us entertained just as far as being able to compete against each other every single day in a way. And so specifically, I'm not really sure what specifically have we done to compete against each other.
We'll do we work out, like we said, we have kind of like a little garage gym going on. We'll usually mirror workouts, and, I'm still recovering from my knee surgery when I tore my meniscus my senior year at A&M. I had surgery back in November, and I'm still recovering just a little bit. So I'll modify his workouts and make them something I can do. But as far as training stuff goes, wall ball has been the biggest thing for us. And we posted a video on my Instagram of us just doing a little wall ball thing, but we'll play games. We'll try to knock each other out and so you can throw it harder against the wall, and who messes up first.
We got so bored the other day. We were playing Foursquare in the driveway. I got heated.
We did. Foursquare gets heated.
But and just your daily stuff. I mean, we play Fortnite together. Yesterday we were playing creative. It's just building on each other and wrecking each other. I mean, any way to compete. We just compete. That's all it is, and we do it. It's always loving and it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And two questions to wrap this up. One is going to go back to something that she mentioned that I don't know if we got the full story for. And in this socially distant world that we live in now, it might be of some encouragement to some guys out there. How did you slide into the DMs?
Are you asking me that?
Yeah. Or how did she? I mean, which way did it go?
Great story.
This is great. No, I'll let you answer that since I didn't slide into the DMs.
Okay.
It's embarrassing, but I'll claim it because it worked out. So it's a really long story, honestly, but short story is that we met through a mutual friend of ours who played softball at UTA. And it was at the time when my first video was going viral. And here I was like, tons of guys DMing me. So I was like, oh, if I tell my friend that I think this guy's cute, and she tells him, obviously he's gonna message me.
Right.
I'm right now. So I told her, I was like, hey, your friend at UTA is pretty cute. You should tell him to message me. And she said, okay, I will. And so she did. And then, the day rolls by, another day rolls by, another day rolls by. I was like, this guy is gonna message me. And so I was like, you know what, whatever. I'll message him. And this is how our love story started, was a message from me that said, hey, with a smiley face. And not the emoji smiley face. The regular old school parentheses smiley face.
Okay.
So that's how I
will say, if there's any advice I could give to guys, shoot your shot, because right now, in a socially distant world, you're not going to see that person in person anyways.
Yeah.
There's no shame. I mean, if you get shot down, it's not like you're going to see them in person, so you're good. You can hide behind your keyboard. So,
there you go.
Shoot your shot while this social distance lasts. Well,
speaking of shooting your shot, is there going to be more social media videos, or more competition coming? Is this going to be like you're going to create a social media channel for what's going on here?
Yeah, we might. I mean, we've had a few people reach out to us telling us that we should make a YouTube account and all this. I mean, we got a ton of time on our hands right now, so who knows? I mean, yeah, we're probably gonna. Obviously, we don't want to overdo it, but I mean, we might. We've had a pretty good response, so.
We thought about doing something on YouTube where we just compete against each other in random things.
Yeah.
So we might take that channel, that avenue, and see where that leads us.
Because competition brings out the purest form of both of us, whether it's good or bad. It brings out the truth, and so it's funny to see. I mean, like today when she took me deep, her response was totally genuine. I mean, that bat flip and that yell, I don't even know what to call it, that was awesome.
It wasn't really much of a bat flip as a bat chunk.
Yeah, it was full on Tim Anderson, just anger coming out. It was awesome. So, yeah, I think we'll probably ride this little wave, and who knows, we might put out some content out there. Obviously, it's got a pretty good response, and we've had a fair share of people say that they enjoy it. So, I think it'd be dumb not to maybe try to put out more videos just like it.
Yeah. Okay. I said we're going to end on that. I have one more good one. What is the one bit of competition that each one of y'all beat the other person in that made the other person the maddest?
Monopoly. It's not even like a sport.
Yeah.
Really any board game, but really Monopoly, because there really isn't much skill involved in Monopoly. There have been a few nights where it is no speaking.
She's not the best to play board games with.
It's really just me. Yeah, it's really just me. I'm very competitive to a fault.
And for me, it's the game we play. I mean, when she pitches to me and some days she's on, I can't touch it. I get genuinely mad.
Yeah.
It's like training in a way, but at the same time, I just get mad, like real anger. So, and she's better than me. I'll be honest. She's a better hitter than I am. And so sometimes I'll pitch, she lights me up over and over, and I feel like I'm throwing my best pitches, and she's just crushing me. And so I'll be like, okay, it hurts my pride a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's all love, and obviously we're having a blast with it. So.
Well, guys, thanks so much for taking a little bit of time out of your quarantine to break down what going viral in the good way is for us, and keep staying safe out there.
Of course. Thank you guys for having us. We appreciate it.